Okay, this is a lesson for Algebra 1, lesson 61, factoring with multiple methods. I've taught you three ways last week to factor. The first way was through GCF. Second one was Xbox. Third way is difference of squares. So we're going to combine them today in this order, okay? So if you notice that it's in this order, then you would apply the steps, okay? So let's just get to it. These are the steps. These are the more detailed steps, but I just condensed them, okay? So these are questions you ask yourself. Does it have GCF? Can you do an Xbox? Can you do difference of squares? And then you just write the final factored form, okay? So number one, watch carefully. On number one, I'm noticing that I could factor out a 4. Okay, so on number one, there's 4x squared plus 24x plus 32. I could factor out a 4. So I'm going to factor out a 4 and then open parentheses. And I ask myself, 4 times what is 4x squared? It's going to be x squared. 4 times what is 24x? 6x. 4 times what is 32? Positive 8. Okay, that's the first step. What I just did is I took out the greatest common factor, or GCF, okay? The second step I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do Xbox, okay? So I have A is equal to 1, B is equal to 6, C is equal to 8, okay? I'm using an Xbox. So we got A is 1, A times C is 8, B is 6. Okay, so when I do my Xbox, I know that this could be 2 times 4, because 2 plus 4 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. So, bring down the original factor of 4. So we got 4 times the quantity of, and you open 2 parentheses up. We got x plus 2, and then x plus 4. And that's it. I just factored two separate steps, okay? Again, what I did is I asked myself, is there a GCF I can take out? There is a GCF of 4. Then I factored it out. This is like what we learned last week. And then I noticed this is like an Xbox problem in here. And I took this little part and I made an Xbox problem. Brought the 4 back down after I saw the Xbox problem. These are the 2 factors. Okay? So you just do 2 steps. Alright? Okay, so watch me do number 2. I'll do it one more time. Number 2, we have 4p squared minus 44p plus 120. So, first thing I want to do is I want to see if I could factor out a GCF. I could factor out a 4. So again, I'm going to factor out a 4. We got 4p squared. It's going to be p squared minus 11p plus 30. Okay. Then I'm going to do an Xbox. Attempt to do it on the inside here. So we got 1 and 1. 8 times c is 30, and b is negative 11. I'm asking myself, what times what is 30 but equals to negative 11? So it's going to be negative 5 times negative 6. Okay, so I got 2 separate factors. I'm going to check my Xbox to make sure that I can't simplify. I can't, so I'm going to bring down the original factor of 4. So I'm going to put down 4, and then open parentheses, or 2 sets of parentheses now. So we got x minus 5, or I'm sorry, it's not x, it's p. P minus 5 times p minus 6. And that's it. We're all done with number 2. Okay? Can't break it apart anymore. So all I'm really doing is breaking things apart by factoring. I go down the steps. I think, can I do GCF first? I do Xbox, and then I'm figuring out my final answer. Okay? That's it. So, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you're tracking with where we're going. Okay. You don't have to know exactly what you're doing, but I just want you to know kind of where we're going. Okay, good. So what I'd like you to do is just turn to your neighbor. 1 cello 2 is about number 1. 2 cello 1 is about number 2. Ready, set, go. Okay, so number 3, continuing on here. Number 3. Number 3 is 2x squared minus 2x minus 24. Turn to your neighbor and tell him what a possible GCF could be. What can you factor out? What can you factor out, everyone? 2. Okay, so you should try to factor out a 2 first. So we got 2 times something times, or minus something minus something. So we got two subtraction signs. What goes in the first term? X squared. What goes in the second term? Third term? Good. So that's the first part. And we got to X box it up. So you're going to do an X box now. You have A, B, and C. You can see that. And your final answer should have a 2. I'm going to set it up. You just have to give me your final answer. And 2 parentheses, okay? Ready? Set, go. Give you about a minute. This example, so you should have it a 1, 1, negative 12, negative 1. So you're going to have negative 4 and positive 3 as your two fractions. So we got x minus 4 and x plus 3. Okay? And that's it. So if you had a 1x, some of you put like 1x plus 4, 1x minus 3. That's okay, but you should take out the 1, okay? Number 4, here we go. Ready? Set, go. Turn your neighbor first and tell him what's the factor. What factor should you take out? The GCF.
It says 60.
It says 60. So what number goes into both 3, 27, and 60? What number goes into all three of them? Good, 3. So you should take out a 3 first. You should take out a 3 first. We got all plus signs, so what's the first term going to be?
Thanks.
Okay, that's great. You need to be working on your work.
That's my paper.
Okay, you should have n squared plus 9n plus 30. Oh, I'm sorry, plus 20. Okay. Again, you have an x box, and your final answer should be the following: 3 times the quantity of 2 separate parentheses. If you're supposed to do an x box on this one, you should have had n plus 4 here, or n plus 5. Okay? Because 4 plus 5 is 9, but it multiplies to positive 20. Okay? Good. Number 5 now. Number 5 is a little bit different. What do you notice about number 5? There's only 2 terms, right? But do we have a factor? Do we have a GCF yet? What's the GCF of both of them? 4. So let's take out GCF. Whenever you can take out GCF, take it out. So we have something minus something. What's it going to be? What should I put in my parentheses? No. We got x squared minus what? 4. Okay? Now what do you notice about x squared minus 4? What is that supposed to be? Is it an x box problem?
No.
What?
Difference of squares.
Ah, it's difference of squares, right? Isn't this a perfect square? And this a perfect square? Isn't this a minus sign? So all those together becomes a difference of squares. So you should have 4 times 2 quantities. Remember last week we did these problems? It was really easy. Okay. So what's the square root of x squared, everyone? X, so you should put an x here. Square root of 4? 2? Finish up the problem, please. There's just one easy step left. Ready, set, go. You just needed a plus sign and a minus sign, okay? That's it. And that concludes this lesson.